This is the pattern for financial security. This is what financial security looks like for an employee. Instead of just putting money into retirement account and hoping for the best, this loop signifies that people feel confident in their education as both an investor and an employee. Just as we study at the school to learn a job, I suggest you to learn to be a professional investor. The reporter who was upset about making $1 million in my asset column and not paying taxes never asked me the question, how did you make the $1 million? To me, that is a real question. Legally avoiding the taxes is easy. Making the millions was not easy. Second path to financial security could be, and this is what financial security looks like for an S. This is the pattern described by the book The Millionaire Next Door, written by Thomas Stanley. It is an excellent book. The average American millionaire is self employed, lives frugally, and invests for the long term. The pattern above reflects that financial life path. This path is from S to B. It is open path that many great entrepreneurs like Bill Gates take. It is not easiest, but in my mind, it is one of the best. Two is better than one. So being educated in more than one quadrant, especially one on the left and one on the right, is much better than being good in just one case. I refer to the fact that the average rich person earns 70% from right side and 30% from the left side of quadrant. I have found that no matter how much money people make, they will feel more secure and if they operate in more than one quadrant. Financial security is having secure footing on both sides of cash flow quadrant. Millionaire firefighters. I have two friends who are examples of success on both sides of the cash flow quadrant. They have tremendous job security with benefits and they have also achieved a great financial wealth on the right side of quadrant. Both are firefighters working for the city government. They have good steady pay, excellent benefits and retirement plans and work only 2 days a week. 3 days a week they work as professional investors. The remaining 2 days they relax and spend time with their families. One buys old houses, fixes them and collects rent. At at the time of this writing, he owns 45 houses that pay him $10,000 a month net. After debt and taxes, maintenance, management and insurance, he earns 3,500 as a firefighter, making his total monthly income more than 13,000 and annual income about $150,000 and growing. He has 5 more years before retirement and his goal is to have 200,000 a year in income at age 56. Not bad for a government employee with 4 kids. The other friend spends his time analyzing companies and taking major long term positions in stocks and options. His portfolio is now more than $3 million. If he cashed it out and earned 10% interest a year, he would have an income of 300,000 per year, barring any major market changes for life. Again, not bad for a government employee with 2 kids. Both friends have enough passive income from their 20 years of investing to have retired by age 40. But they both enjoy their work and want to retire with full benefits from local government. They then will be free because they will enjoy the benefits of success from both sides of quadrant. Money alone does not bring security. I have met many people who have millions in their retirement accounts and still feel insecure. Why? Because it is money generated from their job or businesses. They often have money invested in retirement account but know little to nothing about the subject of investments. If that money disappears and their working days are over, what do they do then? In times of great economic change, there are always great transfers of wealth. Even if you do not have much money, it is important to invest in your education for when changes come. You will be better prepared for them. Don't be caught up unaware and afraid. As I said, no one can predict what will happen, yet, it is best to be prepared for whatever happens, and what means getting educated now. This is the pattern for financial freedom. This is the pattern of study my rich dad recommended. It is path to financial freedom. This is true financial freedom because in the P quadrant, people are working for you, and in the I quadrant, your money is working for you. You are free to work or not to work. Your knowledge in these two quadrants has brought you complete physical freedom from work. If you look at ultra rich, this is pattern in the quadrant. The loop around B and I signifies the income pattern of Bill Gates of Microsoft, Rupert Murdoch of News Corp, Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway, and Ross Perot. A quick word of caution: the B quadrant is much different from I quadrant. I have seen many successful Bs sell their businesses for millions, and their newfound wealth goes into their head. They tend to think that their dollars are a measure of their IQ, so they swagger on down to the I quadrant and lose it all. The game and rules are different in the quadrant, which is why I recommend education over ego. Just as in the case of financial security, having two quadrants give you greater stability in the world of financial freedom. A choice of paths. There are different financial paths people can choose. Unfortunately, most people choose the path for job security when economy starts wobbling. They often cling more desperately to job security. They wind up spending their lives there. At a minimum, I recommend becoming educated in the financial security, which is feeling confident about your job and feeling confident about your ability to invest in good times and bad times. A big secret is that true investors make more money in bad markets. They market their money because the non investors are panicking and selling when they should be buying. That is why I am not afraid of the possible comings economic changes, because change means wealth is being transferred. Your boss cannot make you rich. The economic changes currently happening are partly from sales and mergers of companies. Recently, a friend of mine sold his company. He put more than 15 millions into bank account the day for the sale. His employees had to look for new jobs. At the farewell party, which was filled with tears, there were also undercurrents of extreme anger and resentment. Although he had paid them well for years, most workers were no financially better off on their last day of work than they were on their first day of work. Many people realized that owner of the company had gotten rich while they spent all those years collecting their paychecks and paying bills. The reality is, your boss job is not to make you rich. Your boss job is to make sure you get a paycheck.